So the roof rack that I bought and was an absolute bargain, and I got for, hold on, not a good place to stop, mate, is it? Anyway, yeah, the roof rack I got on eBay for £10. See my other video about that absolute bargain. I'll put a link up here, or maybe up here, I don't know. Yeah, I need to cut a section of that out to fit around the roof light, and then I think I'm going to buy a welder, just a stick welding set, cheap one, and weld some support struts onto the roof rack, just to go around the section that I cut out. And then I need to get the roof rack either rubbed down or get it acid dipped or some kind of treatment to get the paint or coating off of it that's on it at the moment. It's all rusty and I just want to repaint it and just kind of do it up a little bit. So this is the absolute beast of a roof rack. As you can see, there's a little bit of sort of rust on it, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I'll rub it down and paint it. What I am going to have to do is cut out a section of it. So I'm going to probably chop that off there even, and there for my roof light to go about here. I lifted the roof rack up onto the roof to mark out the section that I needed to cut out, and then I used an angle grinder to remove that section. I then reused a section of the roof rack that I just removed as a support strut, orientated lengthways rather than widthways across the van. First of all, I cut this to size using my mitre saw. I then prepared the joining faces for welding. I did this by grinding off any paint or rust from any of the weld areas. So I ended up hiring a welding set rather than buying one, and I just did a couple of practice joins on some scrap pieces of the roof rack that I had lying around. The welding was a bit of an experience. It's 8 years since I did any welding, and yeah, I think it's fair to say any welding skills that I did have 8 years ago after my apprenticeship training have now evaporated. But saying that, I spent the morning welding, just giving it a go at it. I was starting to get the hang of it as I started finishing the job, so there's a fair few sketchy joins and areas where I've blown through the material and really bad welding, but then towards the end I did get a few nice weld pulls going and did a few nice joins, so there we go. It's all a learning process. I mean, that's why I wanted to, well, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the van, just to have a go at all these different things, the electrics, the welding, the woodworking, just do some do-it-yourselfing. Once all the welding was complete, I proceeded to rub down all of the sections of the roof rack. I did this predominantly using a what's called a flap disc on the angle grinder, which is like sandpaper sheets glued together. I also tried using a preparation disc, but I didn't find that worked as well. And the preparation discs are actually more expensive. For the corners and around the joins, I used these wire brush attachments for my power drill. Once I'd removed any rust and the majority of the paint I rinsed the components down and cleaned them off with white spirit. I then started painting the roof rack. I used Hammerite spray paint in a satin black finish, and it took about 3 coats. Overall I think I used about 10 cans of spray paint, which was way more than I originally thought I'd need, and these cans are sort of £12 a pop, so yeah, it cost me about 120 quid in total for all the paint. Installing it on the roof was okay, a little bit sketchy at some points because I was on my own, so obviously the big steel roof rack, and I'm kind of climbing a ladder whilst lifting this roof rack, positioning it on the roof without I was trying not to scratch the paintwork on the roof too much and fit it around the roof light. So yeah, it was a little bit interesting, but it's up there, it's good, I'm happy with it. It is now on, which is good, and I'll just show you what I did to the roof light. So there's a section going right across there, so I just cut it off and then welded on this section here so that I can open this. You can see it's pretty close, not a lot of clearance, literally a couple of mil, but yeah, no, that works a treat. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future videos. Cheers guys.